the Done Deal Show. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Some big stories this evening to talk to you about. Reports from multiple sources in the UK and Portugal believe that Arsenal Football Club have submitted their first official offer for Victor Gyökeres. This comes on the same day as they complete, in principle, the deal for Martin Zubimendi. We're going to be delving into that in more detail. Plus, Manchester United hot on the heels of both Gyökeres Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. However, with Cunha, Newcastle and Arsenal are set to hold further talks with the representation and Chelsea fans. According to sources today, Alejandro Garnacho remains a real, credible and solid target ahead of the summer transfer window. So we're delving into those stories this evening. Want to get your views, want to get your opinions on them throughout the course of the show. But remember to hit the like button. Let us know if you are liking the new layout. I can see Anthony here is enjoying it. Good evening, Anthony. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I hope you're well. And George here says, let's get this deal done and dusted. That is from an Arsenal perspective. And I get exactly why Arsenal fans are going to be hoping for and wanting that. JJ here says, Arsenal mean business this coming window after bottling everything. Finished second again. Ole, ole. Listen, my team didn't win a trophy. This is exactly how I'd want to see the response. This is exactly how I'd want to see a disappointing season. Irrespective of the size of my club, or the history of my club, go out, buy top targets, buy top players, and look to improve teams. In terms of the situation with Victor Gyökeres, let's go through the stories that have come out. Today. I'm going to read this out for you now. There's a couple of them that are worth sort of noting and talking about. The first one that's worth going to is a couple of overlays you can see here. The first one at the bottom, Victor Gyökeres. This is from Sports Witness. You say that Arsenal have submitted official offer. The Gunners make a striker bid. They claim personal terms with him are agreed. Alex Crook has also stated today that Victor Gyökeres would prioritize a move to join Arsenal over Manchester United this summer. As TalkSport understands, Arsenal also understood to be the front runners and are confident of signing Victor Gyökeres when the summer transfer window opens. David Ornstein has also spoken of the situation and said that Gyökeres is a player that Berta really likes. He is possibly the best value for money option out there, but time is ticking. Other interest is building. We know Ruben Amorim likes him, so let's see if Arsenal move on that sooner rather than later. And that was only a few hours ago I saw these tweets published. As I say, Sports Witness and a number of other sources across the UK and in Portugal claim that an offer of sorts has been made. There are claims that personal terms are agreed. Everyone has a different... We spoke about this for donkey's years on the Football Terrace now. Everyone views that a little differently. Some people view personal terms as when they're signed and sealed. Others will, like myself, if I go to an agent, I'm a manager, I go to an agent and say we're going to pay him 200 grand a week, 5-year deal, this bonus, that bonus, this number, if their agent turns around and goes, that'll be acceptable to us, that's fine. That for me is personal terms agreed. By and large, that is personal terms agreed. You haven't really got to negotiate on that. The player is willing to join you. So those are the stories, though. And for me, look, I just finished watching Sporting play Benfica. Thought he had a brilliant first half, Victor Gyökeres. I really, really did. Second half, maybe not so much. I thought he was a little bit loose in possession, but you're going to see that. And Arsenal fans, you've got to prepare yourself. The same as Man United fans have got to with Cunha, who looks like he's joining Man United. People suddenly start to change their views and their opinions. And this overlaying, he doesn't actually have his league goals. I need to speak to him about that. But even when you look at his Champions League performances this year, 6 goals in 8 appearances, 1.89 goals every 90 minutes. Just absolute quality. 1 assist in there as well. His shooting accuracy is massive at 46%. His shot conversion rate this season. This also translates and transpires into the Portuguese leagues as well. A 25% goal conversion rate. This is the type of individual. And the reason I wanted to use the Champions League statistics is because whenever you speak about what he's done in Portugal, people will often play it down and say it's not a very good standard. This is the Champions League we're talking about here. You know, a goal every 101 minutes in a good team, by the way, but Sporting are nowhere near as good as Arsenal. The additional volume of chances that he will have created for him at Arsenal will be massive. And what I think is a little bit of not unrecognized, but underappreciated commodity when it comes to Victor Gyökeres is and I want to make sure I say this in the right way, he creates a lot of his own goal-scoring opportunities. And he isn't Ronaldinho, okay? He's not Zinedine Zidane. He doesn't dribble like Eden Hazard. Nobody's going to make that claim. But he's got a good ability of facing up with a defender or a fullback, a few feints, he can drop a shoulder, he can move, he's got good acceleration, and he can find himself at half a yard to take a shot and to create an opportunity. Very, very good finisher. Very, very good finisher indeed. You can see by the shooting accuracy and the conversion rate. So from my bit, 1 in 4 shots on goal are going in for this man. 1 in 4 shots are going in. 2 out of every 4 shots is pretty much on target. That is a finite commodity in football. Scoring goals at this rate with that kind of frequency is simply very difficult to come across. In every era of the game, there is never enough elite strikers for all the top teams. There's enough for everyone to have a good striker, but there's never enough for everyone to have an elite one. Everything Gyökeres has done in the last few years puts him into that elite category. I suppose the only test left is to join a giant team in the contemporary sense in one of the hardest leagues in the world, La Liga, the Premier League. You could throw Serie A and the Bundesliga into that. People like to play that down as well. That, I think, is the next test for him. But also, around £60 million-ish for the gentleman's agreement that he has with Sporting, it represents fantastic, fantastic business for Arsenal if they can bring him in for that kind of price. It really, really would represent a phenomenal piece of business. It really, really would. Let's take a look at some of your comments that have come in here. Kane can finally retire with a medal. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is, as said earlier, in your morning show with Martin Zubimendi, we now needed a forward. I hear bids have been made for Victor Gyökeres and Nico Williams. Well, Nico Williams, Teza, is certainly someone that's been on your radar for a long time. Most credible journalists state that is a player that you want and that you still desire as a club. Now, on top of that, what I think is important to focus on and speak about as well is what Ornstein said. Now, Ornstein's words were that time is ticking and other interest is building. Chelsea like Victor Gyökeres, Manchester United like Victor Gyökeres. That's just 2 teams from England. There's reports of Real Madrid looking at him and other teams. I feel that Arsenal are in this little corridor at the moment where other teams, it's uncertain. Will Chelsea have Champions League football as an example? Will they have Champions League football first and foremost? Will Manchester United be in the Champions League? How interested are Real Madrid at this point? I think Arsenal should and have to strike now. Get it done. Get him off the market. Don't allow anybody else to slip into your slipstream, slide into your slipstream, and then overtake you. That is what Arsenal can't afford to let happen. Now, as a Man United fan, I hope they drop the ball. As a Man United fan, I hope they mess up, make a mistake, enable my club United to step in. I want Victor Gyökeres. I think he's a phenomenal player. Very good hold-up play, good pace, excellent touch, conversion rate, goal-scoring ability we've already seen. Can score all manner of goals. I've seen him score screamers. I've seen him run with the ball from the halfway line, tap-ins, one-on-ones, free kicks, penalties with his head. Seen him go with both feet as well. So for me, I look at it from that perspective. He's such an elite level player. Chelsea won him, Man United won him, Real Madrid are now interested. This would be a massive deal for Arsenal if they're able to get this over the line. And I know that there are Arsenal fans. I'm sure that you've all seen the tweets today. I haven't been looking for them, to be fair, so I'm only guessing but I bet they exist of why are we doing all these transfers early? It's PR for the bad season. You can make that argument. At the same time, when you have a bad season, surely you want your club to react quickly, to get deals over the line, and to make them of high quality. And I saw quite a few Arsenal fans today tweet about really happy with Zubimendi, but we need attackers, we need more goals, we need more firepower. And this very much could be what's being said here. Sean here says, love the new screen setup, Terry. It looks awesome. Please keep up the great work. Love your honesty and talk about all clubs. I appreciate that. And yeah, let us know what you make of the new overlay. Should we keep it? We're going to try and add some more features to it moving forward. We're going to take some more of your comments and come back to this story a little bit later. But another one that's come out today that I'm really, really excited about from a United perspective is Sky have stated that Man United want Liam Delap and Cunha plus one of Mbeumo and Semenyo. And from my point of view and my perspective, I'm really, really excited about that. I love the idea. Mbeumo for me over Semenyo, that's my personal preference. But to add both, I think would be massive. I really, really do. And when it comes to Brian Mbeumo, as an example, he's my personal preference, if you like. He's my personal preference when it comes to who I would like to see come in out of the two. And you just look at him here. You can look at it statistically and break it down. We've got it up on the screen. Got it up on the screen for you now. But 18 goals and 9 assists this season. Goal conversion rate of 22%. Shooting accuracy of 49%. 49% of his shots are on target. 2% of his shots go in. A goal every 190 minutes. He's not a striker, by the way. He's not a number 9. Phenomenal output there. In totality, across all competitions, 27 GA for a Brentford team. Yes, they're better than Manchester United this season. No one's going to deny that. But he's such a talent. Still a great age in his mid-20s. I hope and I pray, that Manchester United can go out and get this deal done. I really, really do. I'm excited about the prospect of it. Harold, I think he's 25. I think he's 25, David, who asked how old he is here. I think he's 25 years of age. Might even be 24, but 25 is what I think he is. Excellent player. Very, very talented. I speak about Arsenal, and I think, yes, add in Gyökeres, Abin Zubimendi raises your levels. Cunha and Mbeumo, they raise Man United's levels massively. The only element of fear that I face at the moment is the bottom story here that you can see that Matheus Cunha's representatives have scheduled meetings with both Arsenal and Newcastle, although he still favours a move to Manchester United. I said earlier that I think Arsenal have got to move quick before anybody else gets involved, and I stand by that. I really do stand by it. My problem and my worry, again, with us is that I think we're attractive still as a club. I don't care that we're 15th. I don't care about any of that. Man United haven't suddenly become unattractive. Football fans might say it, but I don't think professional footballers feel the same way. However, that doesn't mean others are not more attractive. We can still have Paul and still be an attractive proposition. Cunha seems to be interested. We've got to get that shut off quickly. I don't mean before the season ends, because you can't necessarily. I think we actually have to wait until the season ends for the buyout clause to become active. And until it's active, we can't stop other teams. Even if he says 100%, I want to join you, we can't stop other teams talking to him, talking to Wolves, talking to his representation until that point. So United fans have got to be understanding of that. Brian Mbeumo, look, I still think Newcastle are the lead favourite on him. I really just have a gut feeling it's Newcastle, but I keep seeing the links to Manchester United, and I really hope we get it done. That would, in my opinion, take my club to a completely different level next season in terms of our attack. More goals, more creativity, better in the press, more pace. The technical floor would be so much higher instantly. So fingers crossed we look towards doing this. Fingers crossed we can go out and get this done. Brian Mbeumo, Cunha to Manchester United levels. Absolute levels. David here says Cunha, Mbeumo, Osimhen, or Gyökeres. Maybe Dumfries is my summer list. Promote a couple of academy kids. Good summer. Yeah, look, I like Osimhen. I just don't see that deal is going to happen. I think United are going to get a mixture. We're looking at some goalkeepers, but nearly every player we're linked to, is 22 years or above. Most of them are mid-20s or above. And I love the fact that we're looking for experience. Anthony here says, if Newcastle sign him, Terry, their front three becomes one of the best in the league. I agree. If Mbeumo goes to Newcastle with the quality of Gordon and/or Barnes plus Isak, again, technical ability, speed, pace, power, goals. It's potent. It's dangerous. It's a genuine concern. Everybody should be concerned about that. You absolutely should be concerned about that if they're able to pull it off. Equally, Michael here says, been saying it for years, Terry, next level. The thing is, though, this is the thing, Stephen. So Man United fans have been lied to a lot by our football club. We're implementing a style. And we all know that when a club is broken, it takes a while to implement a new style, build a squad, build the confidence, the culture. It's not like changing managers at Wolves, where they've been building a squad to play this current style of football for 5, 6, 7 years. It's not something new these players are having to learn. It's a new voice, maybe a few little methods here and there, but it's by and large similar systems. There isn't this big upheaval and change. People ignore that a lot. Man United fans have been lied to by our previous owners and people running the club, current owners, but the people running the club. We can now see that we're implementing something. We can now see that we're going about this in the correct and the right manner. So I'm far more confident now than I've ever been before of signings taking us to the next level. But of course, Stephen, you could be right. We could sign them. They could flop. They could be bad. This is very, very true. This could happen. You just give me your opinion on it, my friend. Give us your opinion. Now, the other story that I put up on the screen a few moments ago, which we'll go back to now, involves Chelsea. And for me, this is such an interesting one because it states that Chelsea have not yet abandoned a potential move to sign Alejandro Garnacho from Man United and remain in talks with his representation. What are you saying, Chelsea fans? Do you know one thing I haven't done in this video yet is I haven't put any timestamps in so people can't get to the stories. I'm gonna guess the Man United one that I just did was about 10 minutes into the video. I'm just gonna guess it's around then. But this is a very, very interesting story to me. It really, really is, because I'll come on to Chelsea in a moment. Paul Scholes said something on Thursday night. Although I didn't like his tone, because his tone made it sound as if his tone kind of came across a little bit like the manager is the problem, and the Man United's manager is the issue, and what we should be doing is we should be adapting to the players and not creating the system and buying the right players for it. Because he said that Garnacho isn't good enough on the ball for the 10 position. Doesn't have the ability with his back-facing goal, essentially, to receive the ball, bring others in, the subtleties in the middle, which is fair. And so far, I agree. He comes alive when he's in those wide areas. And as you can see, his numbers up here, 11 goals and 10 assists this season for a young player isn't a bad output. Hell of a lot of key passes and chances created. There's some good attributes to him. Enzo Maresca likes a kind of touchline winger. So his role at Chelsea would be very different from what he's being asked to do at Manchester United. So there is the distinct possibility that he could leave Man United, look a far superior football player to what we see right now at Chelsea. The problem in the conversation is where I think Paul Scholes was wrong is we shouldn't be adapting to these players. We should be setting a style. And if your profile doesn't match what we need, we shouldn't be forcing square pegs into round holes. We shouldn't be building. If we want to build a system that gets the best out of Garnacho, then you have to hire a manager that uses touchline wingers. That has to be part of our DNA and our recruitment for the next 10 to 15 years. And I don't really mind which we go with, but we've decided we've gone down a certain path and route, and we've got to stick to it. Where I think Scholes did make a good point is I think that Alejandro Garnacho could go somewhere and score 20 to 30 goals a season in the right system that gets the very best out of him as an individual. Now, I know you're all going to talk about the chances that he's missed, and he has missed some big chances this year. I think that can be improved upon. I think a player that's more confident because they're playing in a role that's more suited to them could deliver more than he's done this season. Now, if, for instance, Chelsea signed him or anybody signed him, and next year he improves on these numbers, and suddenly he's got 16 goals, 17 goals, he's got 15, 16, 17 assists, better passing accuracy, creating more chances, it may not be looked at as a bad piece of business. I am not convinced that he is going to make it at Manchester United. I am not, and what I mean by make it, and my standard of making it, is a first-team regular, consistently putting in anywhere between 7.5 to 9 out of 10 performances week in, week out, and being integral in us winning the very biggest and the best trophies in the world, and consistently competing in the league and being at the highest level. I'm not convinced he can do that in this style of play, but I still think, and sometimes when I'm angry on a match reaction, no, you ain't good enough, gotta go. And we all say these things in the moment. But when you reflect upon it, I think just like we're seeing with Rashford, who's left, just like we're seeing with Anthony at Real Betis on different levels, the right club, in the right league, the right manager and system, and Garnacho could really deliver some good numbers, some good output, some decent consistency as he matures. I'm not sure if it's going to be at United because I just haven't seen enough of him in the 10 role. Outside of some really good goals he scored, I just haven't seen enough. Just haven't quite seen enough. But Chelsea fans, how do you feel about the potential of signing Alejandro Garnacho? I would love to get your opinions on it. I'd love to get your views on that in the comment section below. And to take a look at what some of you have said. Anthony, for instance, I don't know what you're referring to. You haven't said anything else on it, but you just said Anthony, for instance. Good for him, but we don't want him at Chelsea. He can go do it elsewhere. I mean, yeah, Chelsea fans may not want him, but your club seemingly are very, very interested indeed. Maresca loves a back passer, is what Maximum says here. Technically, Garnacho ain't from the Manchester United Academy. But technically, he didn't join us at 8 years of age. But what did he come in at sort of 15, 16 from Atletico Madrid? It was Atletico Madrid, I think. I was going to say Bilbao. It wasn't Bilbao. It was Atletico Madrid. But he joined as an academy player and played in the academy teams. He won the FA Youth Cup. So he is technically an academy player. But loads of clubs, including the big Spanish clubs, bring players in when they don't bring all their players in at 6 years of age. A lot of their players come in 14, 15, 16, do a year or so in the academy and then graduate. So it's kind of normal. To be called elite, you've got to go to an elite academy and be coached by elite coaches. Potentially. Garnacho would be good for Chelsea, is what Demiz Mob has got to say here. I agree. I think he could be very good at Chelsea. I really, really do. Oh, he was 14. Yeah, if he joined us at 14, he's a Man United Academy player. Simple as that. Sean here says, I agree, Terry. Man United's whole club should now be playing 3-4-3. Rooney said a few weeks ago it would make a transition from youth to the first team a lot easier. Garnacho will leave not good enough at the 10. Yeah, I agree with you that's something, Sean, that Man United have to add to the club. I think that's going to come later down the line. We have to get the first team playing the football right, first of all, and then start to build it up, which is why I think we're looking at experienced players. But I absolutely agree with you. If we're going to go down, what would be a problem is to create a first team that plays 3-4-3. We don't really use wide wingers. We use 10s. We need marauding fullbacks that are good at attacking. If our academy isn't producing players like that, then there is the distinct possibility that many of them, as they graduate or get ready for first team football, are not going to fit. And this is a problem Man United have had for a long time. Now, we're never going to fix it all in year one. We're never going to fix it all straight away. And I'd love to hear what some academy experts think about this. But it's certainly something that's hindered us in the past. Our academy hasn't really in 12 years played the same football as whoever the manager of the current first team was at that point. But I think it's something we're going to have to build over time. First things first, we've got to implement the style in the first team. We've got to become a more competitive side in the league and then start moving forward from there. But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. And I heard Rooney say that as well. And Rooney is certainly correct. Arsenal is going crazy right now. Come on, you Gooners, is what Jordan says. But listen, they have to. At the end of the day, it's been an exceedingly disappointing end to the season for Arsenal. And I don't even think the biggest diehard Arsenal fan could try and paper over those cracks to try and defend it in any single which way. I think you have to call it out for what it is. But as the breaking news earlier that we put up on the screen stated, Gyökeres is going to prioritize, according to Alex Crook, Arsenal over Manchester United this summer. Also, according to Sports Witness and multiple sources across the continent, Arsenal have submitted an official offer and personal terms are agreed. Just also, read the bottom bit. 95 goals in 2 seasons, and he's still got 1 game to go this campaign. It's just ridiculous. And will he come to the Prem and score that many goals? Look, he could. There's no reason why he won't score 6, 7, 8, 9 goals in the Champions League next year for a team like Arsenal. What's he going to do in the Prem? My guess, if he's at Arsenal, my guess, if he joins Chelsea, I'll leave my club out so nobody thinks I'm being biased here. If he joins those 2 football clubs, either of the 2, he's scoring at least 25 league goals next season. I really do believe he is of that level of player. And a lot of people will high lines and all the space in the world to run into. So I watched it. Just go and watch the game tonight and how often he got the ball when he was surrounded by defenders. Sometimes the ball didn't stick. Sometimes he got tackled. But that's so normal. We often overanalyze now when we want to slag a player off that we don't, if we don't like, or a player that we don't want to see succeed elsewhere. So again, the agendas now start day one. Actually, that's a lie. Agendas don't start day one. They start the day your club is seriously linked to them. Genuinely, they start the day that you're seriously linked to them. So, yeah, strap yourselves in. Demetrius says Gyökeres will bang goals whenever top team, whatever top team he goes to. He can get over 30 goals in a season as a whole. You know, I think he'll be across all competitions. I think he'll be a 30 to 40 goal a season player for whoever he signs for. I think he's just what he will score a lot of goals. And I don't know if there's a colloquial modern day like young person's term for this. He's just going to score a lot of goals that are low XG, half chances. You don't expect to go in. He'll have the ball, you know, sort of 2 or 3 yards into the box on either side, left or right. He'll drop a shoulder, create half a yard, and bury it in the bottom corner. That's why Harry Kane scored so many goals. So many of Harry Kane's goals came from a drop of the shoulder, half a yard of space, and placing it with power and accuracy into a bottom corner. Gyökeres scores so many goals like that. He'll get his tap-ins. There'll be the games. And listen, people say, well, what about the space? What about the space? You ain't going to get the space in England. Well, listen, Arsenal, even this campaign, they've dropped so many points from winning positions. But what's happened in those games is that they've been leading. The team start pushing to score. What does that create? Lots of space in behind. If Arsenal had a player like Gyökeres, this season they were knocking those balls into when they're 1 and 2-0 up in all these games where they've dropped 21 points, it stands to reason and it holds water that they win more of these games. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. Signing him by himself may not be enough, but you add the Zubimendi factor, you add a left-sided attacker, someone like a Nico Williams as well. Arsenal mean business. And again, if you're an Arsenal fan and you're upset by this, I've seen a few today online. I don't quite understand it. And you want to move quickly. You've got to listen to what the experts are talking about. Not me. Don't listen to me on this. The experts. That this summer is predicted to be one of the busiest summers in the history of the transfer window. And forget the European teams. There's a thought process that the Saudis are going to smash their league is going to smash its spend record, which means you're going to be getting hundreds of millions of pounds of outside money outside of the European sphere pumped in to the Premier League, to Serie A, Portugal, La Liga. Those clubs are going to spend. Man United have got to spend. Chelsea, Tottenham are going to have a new manager most likely. They're going to have to spend. Liverpool are going to go big. City are going to spend about £300 million. So if you're an Arsenal fan and you're angry that your club's moving early, I need to know what you're smoking. I need to understand why you're upset. It's genuinely crazy to me. I don't understand it whatsoever. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that is just me. Terry, this reminds me of Ronaldo's second time around talk of City making a bid. It made United react. We must do the same. He will be the GOAT. Must sign him before anyone else. United, TFT. Ian, listen, I hope we do get him. As much as I think Arsenal are going to end up landing him, I hope that Man United are the team that lands him. I hope that we get him over the line. I hope that we are the side that do that. 110%. I hope that we're the side that do it. I really, really do. You know, I don't want Arsenal pulling this off. The only thing I'm not going to do is kind of lie and bullshit and pretend that he, sort of like lie and bullshit and pretend that I don't rate him. Some people like to do that if you don't end up getting a player. Terry, is it real news about Frimpong to Liverpool? Well, we spoke about this, we spoke about this on this morning's show. And Fabrizio Romano has said that he's on a list and you're inquiring about, because although he's got a buyout clause, it's a buyout clause that also includes payment terms, which means you could spread that cost. And it's only it's about 29 million pounds in totality, but you may end up getting him for around about 4 or 5 million a year. You can even spread that out. So yeah, listen, I think there's a genuine chance that you end up with Frimpong. There's a genuine chance that you end up with Frimpong. There really, really is. No, Ronaldo made a mistake. Would have bagged the quadruple at City. It's not about the player. It's about the practice of the club. I think you misunderstood slightly. V here says it's a smart move before the player asking value goes up before other leagues start bidding. Yeah, get it done early. Yeah, we haven't got it over the line yet, but Man United, I'm so impressed that we're looking to move so quickly on Cunha. And if that is a deal that we could get announced as in like the here we go moment, right? If we could get that done before the end of the season, I'd be chuffed and over the moon. It just represents a nice little bit of change. Terry, why are Liverpool and City fans more obsessed with Arsenal than anything else? Because they're big rivals. They'll play it down and say they're not, but they're big rivals. They don't like the fans. Arsenal have rattled them in one way, shape, or form. And they feel, in my view, like they're putting Arsenal in their place, and they are obsessed with them. I love it, though. I think it's amazing. I think next season, all three teams are going to challenge for the league. And the disdain that Liverpool supporters and City supporters have for Arsenal, in my opinion, just means we're going to see fiery games, fiery reactions, brilliant conversations online. It's going to be great. King Truth here says, don't Arsenal fans talk about City and Liverpool as well? Yes, but they don't claim to not be rivals. There is a difference. There is a contrast here, which is so regularly ignored. Arsenal fans, again, only what I see on my timeline, and we all see different things. Arsenal fans banter Liverpool and City because they see them as either historical or contemporary rivals to titles. And Liverpool and Arsenal's rivalry goes right back to the 80s with the famous win Arsenal got at Anfield as an example. I had loads of friends growing up that were Liverpool fans who despised Arsenal because of that. So it's intergenerational in that way. City, it's been the last few years in the way they've combated against each other. The people, again, I can only speak about what I see. If you see something different, I respect that. Arsenal fans say they're rivals. The funny element, the contrast is most Liverpool supporters you see, most City supporters you see, say, go away, little bro, we're not bothered by you. But yet then they talk about them. And I love it because you only really speak about things and people that you're bothered about. You can, if I was sitting there all the time, let's just make a name. If I despised Coppish and Callum from Coppish, if I hated them, but they're irrelevant, crap channel, liars, fools, scumbags. This is all hypothetical, by the way. Terry, they slagged you off. I ain't going to respond. They're nothing. They're nothing to me. If I then spent the next 6 months, 9 months consistently talking about them, you would all call me a liar. You would all call me out for that exact thing. If they're nothing, if they're small fry, if you're not bothered by them, why are you always going on about them? That would make you look at me differently. And that's all I see when it comes to the football content. If someone's your rival, you're meant to call them out. You're meant to hate. So when I do a video where I say the hate is real, the reason I'm saying that people have misunderstood. I'm not saying that they shouldn't hate Arsenal. I'm saying the hate is real, okay? Because they pretend it isn't. When I say it's like a bit of an illness, it's like they've got something wrong with them, but they're ignoring it. All right, it's a joke. It's like, nah, I don't even think about them. Why have you tweeted about them 37 times in a week? Like people saying, oh, yeah, United are irrelevant now. Yet, for the first time ever, the winners of the Europa League getting a Champions League spot suddenly sparked a conversation from you. We're not irrelevant. I like calling it out. It's funny. It's funny to me personally. And and you are a spot on there. I am. It is facts. 100% it's a fact. That's why I call it out. It's the only reason I call it out. People say to me, why do you cover it a lot content-wise? The Football Terrace has always done this. A massive part of what we cover is the fan perspective of football. It's a fan channel. It's not just about the news and reacting to games. It's what are the fans saying? What are the fans doing? What do the fans believe? Because I think we're the most important part of football. What I've never seen before is what I've witnessed in the last 3 years. The consistency and the dedication to hating another football club while simultaneously pretending that you don't think about them and they're irrelevant. Honestly, I had an uncle that was schizophrenic and he really thought he was talking to people. He believed they were real. I kind of see it the opposite way around, but with the same sort of, I'm intrigued by it. I used to be fascinated by him. I used to be really fascinated by him. I used to watch him. But oh, fucking hell, he really is talking to people in his own mind. So I see these football fans. They really believe they're not bothered by Arsenal. But what I see is different. They see, I don't even think about Arsenal. What the rest of us are seeing is a man sitting in a corner having a 5-way conversation with himself. And the maddest part is that I've even had to explain this to anyone. I thought it was self-evident. Self-evident. Also, if you want it to go away, I'll stop making content on it. Just admit they're relevant and stop lying. And the content would stop. But don't just say it, your behavior would prove it. It would stop because it wouldn't be interesting anymore. People are only interested in it because of the contrast. Anyway, let's get back to the transfer talk today. If you're just tuning in, we're talking Victor Gyökeres. He is, according to reports, Arsenal have submitted an official offer. And according to these reports, personal terms have been agreed. We want your thoughts and your opinions on that. We're going to open up the lines. If anybody wants to come on and have their say, anybody wants to speak about any of these transfers, we're going to put the call-in link now. We're going to pin it into the live chat so you can see it. All you need is a phone or you might have a rig. Excuse me. Apologize for being rude. Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus, that's good enough. I mean, look, listen, if Kai Havertz is your backup striker, but you've got someone like Gyökeres ahead of him, you've got maybe throw an academy player in the mix as well. It's a pretty good attack. It's a pretty good attack. Zane here says Liverpool and Man United are rivals, but United are 15 points. Sorry, at 15th, but we still have the hates. That's the part of the package. Absolutely. It's there. I like confident fans, but always think the new signings will help win them big trophies when they have yet to kick a ball together. I think that's the best part of transfers. What's it going to do for my team? What's it going to do for my club? How are we going to progress? Are we going to look better? Are we going to look worse? Can we finally get over the line? Will we be in a better position in the league, etc., etc.? That's I love that for me. I will say this as well to content creators that hate the transfer window. Please shut up about it. Because I don't remember a time when we were kids, young adults, fully grown adults, when social media didn't exist. I don't remember a time when people were not excited about the transfers their club were going to make. Run into the shop to buy a paper to see if there was an update. Leaving Sky Sports on all day throughout the summer, waiting for the yellow bar to go across. I don't know why we've suddenly acted like it's crazy. And I get some people don't like the content, but it's because, again, you just don't understand it. Most of the shows there's loads of channels that talk about transfers. It's not about, the deals. We're fans. We're not talking about if the deal's done or not most of the time. It's, will they fit in? Is it good business, bad business? Why is it taking so long? How much are you going to pay him? What's the knock-on effect going to be in your squad? This has been a conversation that's existed in football for decades. Why does some Bellens want to stop it is fucking beyond me, mate. Fucking beyond me, I tell you. That's all summer break was about as kids. Yeah, with football, that's it. And most of us couldn't even watch the preseason games because they weren't even televised. None of it. It was just transfers until a ball was kicked. Williams or Liao? Oh, God. I don't want Man United signing either. I wouldn't sign either for my club, not with how we play now. But if the question is for Arsenal, which I assume it is, I'd say probably Liao. I like Williams, but probably Liao, if I'm being honest with you. Actually, I'd add a player into that you should buy instead. It should be, I don't want you to, by the way, but it should be Rashford. It should be Rashford. If we make the signings we need, I see Jesus and Trossard leaving. I feel they need to move for themselves. The only thing with Jesus is because of the knee injury, I doubt anyone's going to buy him this summer. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to potentially move him on. Thank you, Josh here, who says, hi, Terry. How much did Arsenal bid? I don't know. The article doesn't state the amount they bid. It says offer, but it's going to be between 60 and 70 million euros. There is no official buyout clause, but what there is a gentleman's agreement between the player and the club, Sporting, that he can go this summer for a fee around that. What will be interesting to see what clubs do, because you may find a team that offers less wins this race, potentially. So to break that down, say Man United offer 70 million, but we're going to pay it off over 6 years. Sporting might say, great, that's 70 million. They get to show it on their book straight away, which is fair, but they won't receive all that money instantly. Maybe Arsenal say, well, we'll offer you 55 million, but cash up front. I'm just giving you examples here. So there's a number of elements of this deal that I'm really intrigued about. So the offer in itself is most likely to be between 60 and 70 million euros. How much? That has not been documented by the journalist in the article. What happened to the guy Tottenham stole from United? I wanted that guy. What guy was that? Who'd they steal from us? Oh, Tell. Yeah, I mean, so far he hasn't done too much, but I'm not going to slag him off because we've got to play him in a few weeks. We've got to play him in a few weeks. Terry, who do you think was the signing of the season now that it's confirmed Liverpool won the league, the weakest league in Premier League history? Look, best signing. Oh, who's been the best signing? It can't be anyone at Liverpool because they didn't sign anybody. It's a real hard one, you know. Who's been the best signing? Anthony to Real Betis is probably it. I'm just trying to think. Like Mamouche, who's come mid-season, has been pretty good, to be fair. Maybe someone at Aston Villa. I just can't remember all the signings. Let's go to summer signings 2024, right? Let's have a little look here. It wasn't Raheem Sterling. I don't think it can be anyone at Arsenal. No, it can't be anyone at Arsenal. Who'd Villa bring in? Oh, God, no, this website I went on to is putting too much detail in there. I need to look at something different. Let's have a little look at this. Woods at Forest is a great shout. Wood, yeah, is a great shout. Is a very, 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 very good shout indeed. Aston Villa's for a second. Onana at Aston Villa has been pretty good, but expensive. Woods is probably the best option anyone said so far. Evan Nilsson at Bournemouth is a shout. No one at Brentford. I wouldn't give it to anybody at Brighton. No, none of Chelsea's new signings go into that. Crystal Palace. Their centre back. I can't remember. Is it Lecroc Like he's been very good. No one at Everton, no one at Fulham would get it for me. No one at Ipswich, no one at Leicester. Liverpool didn't sign anybody, as we know. Man City, Mamouche was mentioned, very good in January. Man United, do you know what? You could throw Maz into that, but probably not with where we sit in the league. Lewis Hall, maybe. No, Newcastle. Forest, yeah. Chris Wood. But no, Chris Wood went there last year, didn't he? According to this, it wasn't this summer. So he didn't even go there. He's already been. It's actually really hard, isn't it? Genuinely difficult. Going for all these teams, no one deserves it. It's really hard. Oh, it's pronounced LaCroix. Okay, that is pronounced, yeah. Maybe him. It's actually a really bad year for new signings in terms of like massive impact that any of them have had. Now looking at it, Howson was Howson signed. Was Howson signed this summer? He's only been here 1 year. Did I miss that when I went through the list of players people had signed? Oh yeah, Howson. Yeah, you probably put £10 million. Yeah, maybe Howson. Yeah, sorry, I must have missed that. Howson and Evan Nilsson, both of them have been really, really good for Bournemouth. I'd probably pick them, but it hasn't been a great year for new signings, really. Yeah, crazy. I thought he was last year as well. So there we go, which shows there was no hype around him when he came in, which I think is important. But there we go. Look, I want to thank every single person who's tuned in this evening. We're back tomorrow. Make sure you're here for Newcastle Chelsea. We're doing a watch along for the first time in many, many years. So I hope you're going to all join us for that. Big match reactions tomorrow, big watch alongs tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in this evening. I really do appreciate it a lot. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.